All right. Well, welcome everybody who's watching this. First of all, I apologize. I did not put this up like I thought I did last week. So it was very last minute and impromptu, but thank heavens for the recording option. So Marcos and I are excited to be here today and share with you guys something that's really been helping us in gathering names and creating curiosity as to what it is that we are doing to create something different for ourselves and our family. Now, we call it the benefit statement, just to keep it really basic, and we're going to be sharing what it is that a benefit statement is and how we can use it. And I'm going to let actually Marcos start us off here. For those of you who do not know Marcos, he is living down in Florida, and he is a dad and a husband and now an entrepreneur as well. He has a background in banking and definitely sounds like he's had an entrepreneurial mindset for a while. I'm going to try a few different very exciting ventures and has landed now with LifeVantage. And so he's been working also with some of us in the Grow Benign Grow skill set, and he's been a great team member for me to be working and learning all these skills with. So I'm excited to be able to introduce him to you guys. And Marcos, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Brittany. And I'm glad you decided to put this workshop together for the benefit of everybody that's watching. Network marketing is a profession, and to succeed in any profession, you need to learn some skills. Some distributors, keeping an open mind, have found a set of skills that allows them to have 50% of the people they talk to asking them for a presentation. Now, I want you to go back and think about what you just heard. I just used the benefit statement and I just slide it right there. This is basically what we're trying to teach you. You know, when I said this, you probably were thinking, oh, skills that would allow me to have 50% of the people asking me for a presentation. In your mind, you probably were thinking, oh, what is this? Well, that's the kind of curiosity we want to create in our prospects, okay? Brittany's going to go into how we build this benefit statements to spark curiosity in our prospects. And I'm going to let Brittany go over that with you and also explain how we accomplish this curiosity in the mind of the prospect without raising the sales filter. Because once we raise the sales filter with that in the water, and everything we say after that filter has gone up is blah, 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 and they're not going to listen to us. So, Brittany, it's all yours.
Awesome. And really quick, Marcos, I can't remember the exact amount of seconds. How many seconds is it before the sales filter is raised?
Well, some people say it's as quick as 8, but certainly you don't have more than 30 seconds. Once you start sounding like a salesman, the sales filter comes up in less than 30 seconds. And I don't know if you were going to say this, I might be taking your lightning, but you know, there is a fact that is undeniable. People do not want to hear sales pitches, okay? Nobody wants to be sold or anything, but people love hearing stories that will advance their values, okay? So what we're trying to do is say something of benefit to that person that is going to spark their curiosity, okay? So with that, I'll let you have it.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to start by sharing with you guys a story of sorts. And maybe you can relate just like I was able to relate when I heard it. So imagine with me that if you're not a jogger, just jump into the pants of the jogger. And you're jogging along and you're enjoying the sunshine, you hear the birds singing, You are just in this nice zone of tranquility. And all of a sudden, you see one of your friends out in the distance, and you get a little closer, and then all of a sudden they make eye contact with you. And they start running over at, full speed and basically pounce on you. They get to you and they jump on you and they say, Marcos, Sarah, I have something I want to share with you. And it has to do with nutrigenomics, a medical breakthrough that happened back in 2003. And guess what? It's all natural, and you only have to take 1 pill a day. And then, because of that, your oxidative stress is lowered. And then we feel great. And actually, the NIA just did a study that says that also extends life. How could you say no to that? Would you like to get on a presentation in an hour? Well, I don't know if any of us are quite that vigorous. That might be a bit of an extreme. But when I heard that, I was able to relate in the sense that I did come at my friends with a lot of force, a lot of excitement that they couldn't meet me at right away. And I didn't really know how to share all this excitement that I had in a way that could be relatable, familiar, something that they could really grasp. And yet I know what we have with Protandim is huge. So like Marcos just mentioned, I've learned, and a lot of us have been learning about some skills. And we are in a profession. This is a whole new career path for a lot of us. And it's going to take some learning and some true skill sets to allow us to move forward. So when we're talking about the benefit statement, we are finding a way to share our information while somebody is actually interested, after they're asking for information, and not pushing anything down anybody's throat, not being that pouncer, but rather a friend that can, I guess, an advisor of sorts. So I'm going to start by saying there's really 4 different types of statements. There's going to be the people you know. There will be the ones for the people that you meet through representatives or, basically business associates. There will be the people that you just meet. And then there's going to be the people that you meet through social media or online somehow. And so this benefit statement skill is going to be something that you can use with all 4 of those categories of people. And so there are 3 different rules that we want to keep in mind when we are creating and using this skill set. The first one is we want to be sure that we're using something that's rejection-free. When I'm jogging along and my friend comes over with just so much excitement, I most likely am going to be just desperate to push her off of me and say, okay, let me breathe, or shut her down in some way. If I don't say it verbally, I'm going to be, internally just screaming and trying to figure out a way to go. So we don't want to put anybody in that situation. So rejection-free. We don't want to embarrass or pressure anybody. That's just bad manners. And then the third rule is we want something that has a high probability of striking interest. So with those 3 rules in mind, we're going to move forward. And I want to actually re-emphasize what Marco said about the story. People hate sales pitches, and we can all think of different times in our lives where we too disliked sales pitches very much. But when there's an opportunity to listen to a story, especially, again, like Marco said, that connects to our core values and speaks to those, then we we physically our mental capability cannot say no to that. We naturally gravitate to stories and that whole process of finding things that we can relate to, such as our core values. So we are creating interest using a story, basically, but it's going to be short. It's going to be something that we can practice a few times and be able to have roll off our tongue easily, because we don't want to memorize a whole speech, right? We don't want to for our friends and our family, and we also need something that we can just pull out of our minds quickly. So I'm going to go back to Marcos and what the first benefit statement that you may or may not have realized was a benefit statement. And what he said was, network marketing is a profession. To succeed in any profession, you need to know some skills. Now, some distributors, keeping an open mind, have found a skill set that allows 50% of people they talk to ask them for more information or for a presentation. So we're going to break that down. What exactly happened right there? The three components of a benefit statement are a fact, another fact, and then a small bit of new information. So when we're thinking about facts, we want to make sure that they are indisputable. So they have to be worldwide well-known facts. So nothing with too many specifics or figures, just basic general knowledge, like college is expensive. We can't argue that, right? And then the new bit of information, it's one bit. It's not bits of information. That can be tricky for us, especially when we have a company like LifeVantage that has so much to offer. So those are the three components of a benefit statement. And this is what's happening. I'm going to just share a little bit more here about what the benefit statement is, and then Marcos and I are going to share a few of ours that we found to be very relevant in our real world. So when you share the first fact, the subconscious of the person that you're speaking to says, hey, come, I think you're okay. I think you're like me. They can relate to that. The second fact re-emphasizes that and confirms, hey, they are like me. I get that. You're right. And then the new bit of information, they're on that roll of agreeing with you, right? Yeah. College is expensive. Good schools, they even cost more. A new bit of information allows the subconscious to say, come in, please tell me a story. Tell me more. How could this possibly be? All right, and with that example that I just kind of started there, you could end it with, some people have found a way to pay for college with no loans and no stress. And I think if I heard that, I would definitely be open. And I want to point out one more thing before we go over the real life examples that we've used. When we're using these basic general facts and then a new bit of information that doesn't share any specifics as to our name of the company or our product, we're giving the opportunity for curiosity to arise without giving away any of our information. So essentially, you could use this same concept over and over and over and over and over and over again with a family member, for example, that doesn't quite catch on the first time. The second time, they just don't hear you all the way. The fourth time, they're not in the right space in life. The fifth time, though, you say something that's very relevant to their situation, and they're all ears. And they have no idea what you're working on because you haven't given them the golden nugget, essentially. Yes? Okay. I could go on for much longer, I'm sure, on that topic. But now I'm going to share just a couple of my favorites that I have used often and I have gotten a good response from. I've collected around, I can say 20. I'll keep it on the low side and say 20 though. Numbers and names from using these benefit statements. And so the first one that I use a lot, being a mom and having a family, is, hey, you know, raising a family is expensive. I hear ya. And it's really great when the parents have the option to stay at home with the kids, or at least one of them. But some moms have found a way to earn more money part-time from home than their husbands do full-time at their 9 to 5. Now, what were you saying about Johnny again? He went to that school, and I just changed the subject. Now, we'll get into what happens after this, but we're going to focus on the benefit statement itself. So I'll break that down. The first part, the first fact, was raising a family is expensive. The second undeniable fact is it's really great when one of the parents can stay home with the kids. And then the one new bit of information is some moms have found a way to make more money part-time from home than their husbands do full-time at their 9 to 5. Okay, the next one is actually one that I really like. I haven't memorized completely yet, so I haven't used it as often, but I had some help with this one. Actually, Marcos and a few others on our team helped put this together, and we really liked it on more of the product side, less of the business. And it goes, I'll stage this one a little bit for us. So let's say you're talking to an old friend, maybe a new friend, and this phrase comes up a lot, right? Oh, I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. This day is crazy, and I have this to do, and I just feel all out of sorts. And my reply is usually, oh, I worked at Starbucks for forever. I love the smell of coffee, and I know what you mean. It makes a big difference when you can get to it. But, you know, coffee is so expensive these days. And we often drink more than a cup a day. But some people, Heather, have found a way to have a clear mind and energy throughout their day without needing that second cup or even one at all. If you'd ever like to hear something more about that, let me know. But now's not the time. What kept you so busy today that you haven't gotten to your coffee? Yes, change the subject. All right, Marcos, I'd love to hear, what are your top 2 favorites?
Well, you know, I'm a health buff, and you know, I like fitness and nutrition, and that's probably why I got attracted to LifeVantage. So the statements that I use is, our health is our most precious asset. That would be fact 1.
Mm-hmm.
In today's busy world, we find it more difficult to maintain a healthy lifestyle. That would be the second fact that I don't think many people can argue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would say some people, keeping an open mind, have found a way, working very part-time, to create optimum health for themselves, while at the same time making a few extra bucks. If you ever want to know more about it, let me know. You could say that, or you could say, if depending on the situation, pass me a napkin, or do you want another drink, or whatever your situation is, you can change the subject. Depending on the situation, you might want to go for whether they want more information or not. Usually, if you're doing a cold call, that's when you would say, may I get you more information? There's other skills that we use, but that's how you open, the mind of the prospect for a little bit, just enough to create the curiosity. Another one that I like is retirement. I used to be a banker, and that was another one of the reasons why I got involved with LifeVantage, because as a banker, I became painfully aware that most people do not have enough money to retire. And unfortunately, most people are going to work well into their 70s and 80s if they don't do something about it. So the one that I like for that is the average American family is not able to save enough for retirement. Prices of things keep going up, and it's harder and harder to save. Some people have found a way to retire a few years earlier than they thought, by working very part-time from home. And then you can change the subject. And, if they don't get curious about something like that, then you're probably talking to the wrong person. Change the subject, and if they don't ask you for more, just like Brittany was saying at the beginning, you're not getting rejected because you never mentioned your company. You never told them you have something to sell. So, you can approach that person later with another one of these phrases, and they don't know. If you haven't told them that you're in a company doing something, they don't know. Okay, so they're going to be approached later with something else, and that's the most important thing. The distributors that we bring into our group, they don't want to feel rejected, and that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to lower attrition by keeping people, talking to people. That's what we do. We talk to people and we collect decisions. And with these skills, you can have people actually ask you, what are you talking about? What do you mean by that? How? Tell me more. It's happened. So, that's what we want to teach you how to do. So.
Yeah. And I like how you brought up our goal with this. And I just want to add another name for this skill set is the instant rapport builder. And we don't want to add too many names to it, but the reason I bring that up is because one of the things that we're doing with these two facts that people can relate with you on, and then sharing something that's new, is creating rapport. And it's in a short way. I mean, it's interesting to see how quickly people will open up when they see that you're alike, when there's commonality between you. And just really quickly, I'm going to share what exactly rapport means, because I think that will add some value and understanding behind why we do it in this format. So rapport means a relationship characterized by harmony. And then trust is a prerequisite, of course, for harmony. And therefore, rapport equals harmony and trust. Do you all agree? Me, Marcos, and Sarah? Awesome. So we trust people we believe are the same. And so when we are building these, which we're going to show you how to do next, we want to keep that in mind. When we're thinking of those two facts, we want to find something that the general, public could agree with us on. And yeah, I'll keep it at that. All right, so we are going to give you guys an since we have a small group on right now, I guess Marcos and I will just kind of role play this. Sarah, if you want to jump in, we'd love that too. And we're just going to put together a few benefit statements that we might be able to use when we're at the grocery store or at the airport traveling to our one of our events. And I want to warn all of you that as you are starting to think about this and envision yourself using this and then actually practicing it, it is not going to feel normal. It's going to feel very weird and unnatural. And I mean, that's just not how we talk. Two bits of information broken up and then into a new thing. It takes a bit of getting used to. But I know that for myself, I can say it is very worth the time and practice that I put into it because it works. But I just wanted to put that out there. Don't feel like it's going to be, it has to be something that you can jive with right away and feels good right away. That can be learned. Okay, so if you guys are following along, if you all want to take out your pens and papers if you haven't already, and I'm going to go over just the components again to build one. And again, the key here is to create curiosity. That's it, creating curiosity. So fact, small bit of new information, and it always must be in the third person. And I thought that was interesting. I don't know about you, but I was like, well, why is that? And then I took a few examples. So college is expensive. And gosh, I know my loans were through the roof for a better school. But I found that I found a way to pay for my kids' education with no loans and no stress. And it still sounds good, but I don't know if you felt that little like red flag almost go up. Oh, you did, huh? How'd you do that? With like a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Hesitation or, oh my goodness, I'm completely blanking. But you guys get the point, right? So always third person in that new bit of information as well as in the facts. And then again, the facts must be indisputable and universally accepted. Okay, so let's go into an example here. Here's the first one that I shared with you guys. So it's great when one of the parents has the option, or I'm sorry, raising a family is expensive. And it's great when one of the parents has the option to stay at home with the kids. But some moms have found a way to earn more money part-time from home than their husbands do full-time at work. So we had the fact, two facts and a small bit of new information. And I want to point one thing out there. In the second fact, you heard me say, it's great when one of the parents has the option to stay at home with the kids. When we're creating these, we want to make sure that we're never insulting a person's current profession. That makes sense. So what people are doing really works out for some, and they're excited about it. A lot of people are passionate about what they're doing. We don't want to ever force our beliefs and our perspectives onto somebody else. So when we can use the word option in there, it allows for kind of that backdoor out. Some people like it, some people don't, and conveying that message in there. Okay, so I'm going to let us all kind of create this together by setting up a fill in the blank type scenario here. So I want you to write down the word fact, and then a couple spaces below, write the word fact again. And then a couple of spaces below, write new bit of information. And the new bit of information is going to say, some students have found a way to make more money part-time than their professors do full-time. I like that one. Okay, so your paper should look blank at the top, 2 fact spaces, and then the small bit of information should say, some students have found a way to make more money part-time than their professors do full-time. Got it? Okay, so Marcos and Sarah, we'll do this together. So what could we put in there for the first fact that has to do with students, college, and money?
You're doing for students or professions or?
Sarah, if you had something to add, I don't want to cut you off, but in my opinion, this would be geared towards students, for sure. So college students, I mean, I technically probably high school students too, but I would say primarily college students. Sarah, did you have something to add?
Oh, I was just going to say, so you're asking what is a fact for a college student?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I only know the one, college is expensive, that one. Does that work?
Yeah, totally. Yep, thank you, Sarah. That's definitely undisputable. And I think world renowned, or world known, known globally. So yeah, perfect. Okay, so we have college is expensive. And how about, one second. I was trying to think of something that could go along with the fact that it's hard to get loans, or it's difficult to work multiple jobs while going to class, to school full time.
One that I was thinking of, it could be the lack of money can make a lot of people drop out from school. And at least that was my experience when I was in college. You found that you needed the money, and then if you went out and tried to get the money, then you didn't concentrate on your studies.
Right.
And your grades got affected by it, So I think like college is expensive. Some students find that the lack of money keeps them away from their studies. Something to that effect,
I like that.
Yeah. So what about, and I like how that's put, maybe this is just me taking it on too differently, but what about financial challenges can prevent, where was I going with that? Basically, the full college experience, or minimize their learning abilities, or take away from their learning experience. That, I think you had a more basic way of saying it. Let's say, I'm
Yeah, I would say that the lack of finance can cause you to drop out of college, you know, and that's a fact, and it's kind of easy to get on it, you know.
yeah.
So college is expensive. The lack of money can make people drop out of college, but some students have found a way with very little amount of time, have found a way with a very small amount of time to make the money they need to pay for their studies or their school.
Perfect. And we do have the benefit statements that and the new bit of information all filled in. But I really like that too, Marcos. I think that was great. So this is the perfect situation. I'm glad we have this recorded because it is really easy, for me at least, to make it too flowery and, you know, too many words, and just keeping it very precise and just basic. It doesn't have to sound, you know, over the top business or professional. So that, thank you, Marco. So we have college is expensive, and the lack of money can cause some students, or can discourage some students from graduating. That basically what it is. But some students have found a way to make more money part-time than their professors do full-time. I think that's great.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So those of us that have contacts that are going through college, I think that's an excellent option to use. Okay, I'm going to do one more setup like that where we can fill in the blanks, and then we will bring this to a close. And the next one will be a bit reversed. So on your paper, for the first fact, we're going to write arthritis is painful. We all, if we don't have it, we can imagine it is, right? And then the second fact is the government has taken dangerous drugs like Vioxx off the market. Okay, and that's our second fact. And then the new bit of information will be the part that we get to fill in, which I think is very appropriate since we have a health product. So I will let you guys add any thoughts that you have on what the small bit of information could be before I try to add too many words.
Arthritis is painful. Is that what you said?
Arthritis is painful. Mm-hmm.
The government has taken drugs like Vioxx off the market. Some people, keeping an open mind, have found a way to feel better with a natural product. I don't think I would say remedy, even though I want to say remedy, because we don't want to treat.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have found relief with a natural product.
There you go. Have found relief. Should we say from their aches and pains, or just assume that we're still talking about arthritis? That's clear.
I think so. I think if you say, I think you can say aches and pangs with a G. That was one of the things that LifeVantage did, because if they said aches and pains, it was implied that we were treating a pain. So even in one of their videos, it says aches and pangs with a G.
Oh, okay. So technical. That's good to know, though.
Right?
That's a good point.
Aches and pangs.
Okay, but some people, keeping an open mind, have found relief. We could either say aches and pangs with using a natural, by using natural remedies, did you say, or natural supplements? Or
I personally like the natural product. Because I find when I say supplement, I feel like people are like, oh no, I don't take supplements, you know. But in remedy, I feel like it probably leans more towards a cure or suggesting a cure. So I think I would choose product, but that's just my thought.
I got a suggestion. I'm not gonna read the facts. I'm just gonna do the benefit or the bit of new information.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have found keeping an open mind relief by using a natural solution.
Ah,
I like that. Super, nice and short and sweet.
yeah, I like it too.
Some people keeping an open mind have found relief by using a natural solution, or using a natural solution. Have found relief. Awesome. I love putting our heads together on this. And I think, both of those were great. Okay, so from the top, Sarah, do you want to read the whole thing? Or do you have that in front of you?
No, I don't, but I can try.
Okay, I believe in you.
This is good, like when you're on the spot. Okay. Arthritis is painful, and, you know, the government has taken dangerous drugs like Vioxx off the market. Some people, keeping an open mind, have found relief with a natural solution. If you ever want to know anything about that, just ask me. I'll give you some more information. You going to the beach later?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I like how you use both of those kind of endings. I tend to use one or the other, but I like offering the more information and then changing the subject. Beautiful. All right. So I want to now have Marcos share one more part of his story with taking on these skills and how he's been able to apply them and just a couple of his experiences. Oh, go ahead, Marcos.
Well, what's important when applying these skills is to practice them before you need them. I can tell you how many times I've been in a situation where I could have used the skills, but because I had not practiced and I wasn't ready, the opportunity disappeared. Think about it. It's happened to me. Somebody tells you, man, I don't know what to do about my credit card debt. You know, I got so much credit card debt and I'm finding it hard to make the payments, you know. Well, there you go. They're sharing a pain and you have a solution. And there is an easy way to talk to them about it without saying, oh, would you want to join my network marketing company and making money from home, you know? You can tell them, it's like, man, I understand what you're saying. Having credit card debt sucks, you know, and you can talk bluntly with people. Unfortunately, most American family have a lot of credit card debt, so you're not, you know, out of good company. But some people have found a way to pay their credit card debt while working very part-time from home. If you ever want to know more, let me know and I'll get you some information. But this is the kind of stuff that I'm able to say it now like this on the spot. But 3 months ago, I had the situation and I didn't know what to tell my friend. And, you know, later on, it felt awkward to go back and restart the conversation about his credit card debt. But you know, and stuff like that is gonna happen with different situations. If you are out there talking to people, most people want to talk about their pains. You know, it's just the fact that people like to share their pains. You know, they want the sympathy. So if you're ready, you'll be able to take advantage of this.
Great. Yeah, I can relate with that too. And I wanted Marcos to share that just to again reemphasize that it won't come too naturally. At least I haven't heard of somebody yet that took this on and right away was able to adopt it. It is a bit unnatural. But with practice, I know one of our mentors, Mark J, recommends to go to the mirror and say whatever it is 50 times to yourself, which can feel goofy, but it totally works. By the time you're out there, and I use them at the grocery store all the time when I'm standing in line, I usually use the same one about groceries are expensive. And if you are ready, if you see that positive outcome, you know, you have a little pen and paper on you. We have a few other resources that you can use. And if they respond, most people can't help but hear the whole story. Create that curiosity, and you have a new contact. And so I would encourage you to, if you didn't hear one that really resonated with you by what Marcos shared, I shared, you know, what we worked on together, then take the concepts, the two facts, or I guess the equation, 2 facts and 1 bit of new information, and create something that would work for you, that you come up against a lot of. Sometimes it's going to be time flexibility, you know, oh my goodness, how does the time go by so fast? I never have enough. I'm always at my job, or whatever it is. Flying is expensive, airfare, that could be one. Take the time, you know, 5-10 minutes to put that together, and just focus on one in the beginning, and then practice it. When you're in the safety of your own home, you can do it fast, do it slow, kind of switch it up for your mind's sake. And I think you'll be surprised to see how easily it comes when you're out and about. And it might take some practice in actually saying it out loud, because I'll have it play in my head all the time. You're like, why isn't it actually coming off of my tongue? And I have to actually be very intentional about that, but that will also start to come more easily. So with that, we're going to bring this to a close. We really, really appreciate your time. In the next couple of weeks, it'll probably be in June, we'll do another one of these workshops, but it will focus more on what comes after the benefit statement and how you can really collect that information the best way, and also some additional verbiage that you can use that can, you know, even extend that deal even more so, and, you know, make sure that they have an appointment booked. But with that, for now, I think that I covered everything. Yeah. And the key here is creating the curiosity, and we're here to be a blessing to others. And I think the best way that we can bless with what we have is by not passing up those opportunities that could be so easy to let go. You know, with those little conversations that we have here and there, people's real pain, and being able to offer something in a way that is familiar. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you, Marco, so much for your help and teaming up with me on this. And Sarah, thank you. We know you're really busy right now with your house. We really appreciate your time on here. And I'm going to close this up. I will post this, and we would love some feedback, because I know I am always looking to better my skills and communication especially. So any feedback you want to post or send to us directly, I'm sure Marcos would appreciate as well. And
Absolutely.
we will see you all around.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Sarah.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Amazing.
Oh, we really appreciate you being on, Sarah, and everything that you had to share and add.
Thanks for